Today, we're gonna talk about two awesome tools that can level up your tech game, Proxmox and pfSense. If you ever wondered about setting up your own virtual playground or improving your network security, you're in the right place. Proxmox is the superhero of virtualization. It's a Type 1 hypervisor, which means it runs directly on your hardware and it does not need an operating system to run on. On the other hand, pfSense is your trusty sidekick firewall, keeping things safe and sound. In this video, I'm gonna break down the basics of why they work so well together and guide you through the setup process. Let's get started. Now, the first step of this installation, we will be installing Proxmox virtual environment in our home lab. We could be having it on an old laptop or a dedicated server. Let's now head to Proxmox website so we can get the ISO image that we need. Let's head to Google and type Proxmox. Let's go to the first website and go to downloads. Now here we can download the first one, Proxmox Virtual Environment 8.1 ISO. Let's hit download. Now the next step, once we have the ISO image ready, we have to install it inside the USB so we can plug it inside our laptop. Let's head to Google and type Rufus. Let us download. Let's go with the first one. Now after Rufus have finished adding the ISO image to your USB, let us plug it inside the laptop and then boot the USB. We will be presented with the following screen. Let us install Proxmox Virtual Environment, the first option. Now we will wait a bit until it will be initialized. After Proxmox has booted up, let us proceed with the installation. Let's click I agree, and then select the target hard disk where we are trying to install the server on. Let's click next. You also have to select the country and then put a password. Click next. Proxmox is actually pretty cool because you can access it through the web browser. We need as well to put a host name. In my case, I just put pre.local and click next. And then that's it. We just have to click install. And then we have to wait until it's finished. After Proxmox have done the installation, we will see the following console. Let's head to the browser and enter this IP address. Now after copying the IP address and going to the browser, you will be seeing the following screen. You will see the data center nodes, you will see the summary, the system, the networks, DNS entries, virtual machines if you have any, the storage available, and all the details. The next step in this tutorial will be installing pfSense. Now in my case, I already have pfSense ISO image already uploaded to Proxmox. But let's head to pfSense and I'll show you how to download the image. Let's go to Google and type pfSense. Let's go to download. And then here we select the architecture. In my case, it's AMD 64. And then the installer, let's go with the DVD image ISO. And then click on download. After download is done, let's go to Proxmox and then click on upload. Here we have to select the ISO image that we just downloaded. After ISO image has been uploaded, we need now to create our virtual machine. Let's go to virtual machines and then click create VM. Let's name our environment my pfSense. And then the VM ID in my case is 102. In your case, it could be something different. Just keep it as default. Click next and then select the ISO image. System everything here by default. Disks. 32 GB is more than enough for a virtual environment of pfSense. Let's click next. CPU 1 core 1 sockets, memory 2 GB, network. For the network interface right now, just click no network device. I will show you how to configure it later in the later stage. Click next and then confirm. Now before we start our installation of pfSense, we have to take a look at the network configuration in Proxmox server. Any virtual router or firewall running on top of Type 1 hypervisor will need in the basic configuration a WAN address and a LAN address. Now proceeding with the setup, we need to make sure that the laptop that is running Proxmox server supports two interfaces, the WAN address and the LAN address. Now most laptops have only one physical port, right? That's why I will be attaching this adapter. It's a USB to LAN adapter. And then after rerunning Proxmox server or after restarting the laptop, if we will go to the network interfaces, we will be able to see two bridges created for us. In my case, it's named VMBR0 and VMBR1. Now the next step is to start this virtual machine in order to install pfSense server. Let's click start, and then we can go to the console in order to see it in action. Now proceeding with the installation of pfSense after it's loaded in our console, let's click accept. Let's proceed with the default installation. Okay, all right, and then click install, select, and then we will click space here and then click OK. Last chance, are you sure you want to destroy the current contents? I click yes. And we are waiting here until pfSense will be installed on this virtual machine. Now after pfSense have finished installing, we will click on reboot in order to load pfSense. After pfSense have finished loading, as you can see, it presented us in the console with a basic configuration which we need to do. Let us proceed with entering the WAN interface as VTNet0, click enter. And for the network interface, we'll proceed with VTNet1, click enter. The interfaces, as you can see here, will be assigned as following. Are you sure you want to proceed? Click Y, yes. And then pfSense is already now trying to configure our interfaces. Now after pfSense have finished installation, you will see here a WAN and a LAN address. In my case, I have masked out the WAN address for security purposes only, of course. And for the LAN address, I had just kept it by default 192.168.1.1. Now, if I will take this IP address 192.168.1.1 and I will put it in the browser, I will be able to log into the pfSense server. Now, at the last step, I will show you how to log into the pfSense in the browser. Let's put our username and the password. And here you go, guys. We have successfully installed and configured pfSense running on a virtual machine on a Type 1 hypervisor. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more exciting content. Also, if you have any questions or ideas, leave them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for joining us on this tech journey. See you in the next one.